Dan Illman and Mike Beer, race number 6 at Woodbine on Sunday is the Grade 2 Summer Stakes for 2-year-olds going a mile on the turf. Let's take a peek at this field. The number 6, Hemp Hooray, a Keeneland graduate ridden by John Velasquez, is your 2-to-1 morning line favorite for trainer Wesley Ward. Really can't knock anything this horse has done on the track thus far. 2 starts, 2 runaway wins, 80 Beyer speed figure last time out, and is going to be up close to the pace in this spot. Am I wrong in saying that I don't love these Wesley Ward 2-year-olds when they stretch out? He is an absolute wizard at getting them to win early sprinting. When they stretch out, maybe they lose a little zip off the fastball.
Yeah, it seems that way. The other thing, if you wanted to nitpick this horse as the favorite, I think it would just sort of be like going through those 2 wins. And he was pretty impressive winning both times, but you know, he basically walked on the lead in his debut at Belmont Park. I mean, there was just no pace in that race. He got right to the front, never faced a challenge, and won clear. And they went to Monmouth going 5.5 in the Tyrrell. I mean, he faced 3 other horses in that race. He was better than them, and he outfinished them easily through the stretch. I gotta believe it's going to be different for him here. There's other pace in this race. He's not going to be walking on the lead. Maybe he wins, but I'm not taking 2-to-1.
It's a significant stretch out from 5.5 furlongs to a mile. He's certainly bred to handle the one-turn mile by Breeders' Cup Mile winner Artie Schiller. We'll see what we get from him and Paré, although you know he's going to take some money. The one Untamed Domain is real interesting for trainer Graham Motion because this horse is really bred to appreciate the distance, and if there is some pace, it could set up very well for him. He exits the Grade 3 with anticipation, and he just put himself right behind the 8 ball by missing the break.
Yeah, he didn't break that well in that race. They just kept him at the back of the pack the entire way. I mean, I actually felt like he ran well in there. He came wide off the turn. He finished all the way through the stretch. He got out-kicked a little bit at the end there, but I thought all in all that was a good performance, and I actually feel like that with anticipation is a pretty good race, too. I mean, that was a good field of horses. He ran well when he broke his maiden the first time they stretched him out at Saratoga. A little trouble on the turn, but way better than those horses. I think it was a pretty weak field, but that's there's nothing to do with him. He ran really well in that race. I don't know. I like that he can go long. He's got the pedigree to go long. I'm not sure if the blinkers does anything for him, but maybe it gets him out of the gate a little more sharply in here. And I do think he will have pace to run at.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this year's Summer Stakes. We've got the Todd Pletcher entrant, the number 5 El Dulce on the lead, with the 7 Count Alexander sitting second. What did you think of Count Alexander's career debut? I liked it. He won off very nicely after sitting in the early portion of the race. He's well bred by Scat Daddy. He cost a lot of money. And these sort of lower profile connections basically ensure a good price. And I guess if this pace projector works itself out, I don't see it that way. I think the 6 Hemp Paré is going to be out there with maybe the 5 and 7 in chase mode. But if this pace projector does work out, maybe it helps Count Alexander.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with any of that stuff. I really liked his debut. He was just so professional in that race, tracking the pace, and then when they asked him to go for it, man, I mean, he just flat overpowered that field in the stretch, and he was way the best in there. I really liked his debut. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't stretch out effectively in this race. I think he's a big player in here.
He beat a big ticket filly trained by Mark Casse, who's entered right back in the Natalman, only her second lifetime start a little bit later on Sunday. The 8 empirically finished first at a big price in the career debut at Saratoga and then was disqualified. Tough luck for Roy Lerman, who's been searching for a win in 2017. This horse is by point of entry, so turf routing should be right up his alley. It was in the debut. Is he going to be outrun here early?
Maybe. I mean, it almost felt like to me when you watch his debut, they sort of took him back early in that race to let him settle off the pace. It's not like he got totally outrun in that race. He did some really good things in there, and I have a feeling that this horse actually has some ability. The one thing I will say about that debut, that was obviously Travers Day. The rails were freshly down on the turf. This horse got a great ride from Gaffalione. He just stayed in. He came right up the inside, which is where you wanted to be on those turf courses at that time. And then he ran well in there, and he was justifiably disqualified because he bumped the runner up a couple of times in the stretch. But he still ran well, and I think he's a contender in here.
The 5 El Dulce made his career debut on turf sprinting for Todd Pletcher at Saratoga. It resulted in a gate-to-wire win over a pair of next down winners. The 4th finisher returning to win for George Weaver with a 73 Beyer speed figure, then washed off the turf in the Skidmore. I know you like the horse that beat El Dulce, Mark Casse's Flame Away, who outfinished him late. El Dulce has a positive formulator effect for Todd Pletcher leading up to this race. For the past 2 years, dirt to turf, sprint to route, 2-year-olds, 43%, a $3.52 ROI. He was game in the debut at Saratoga. Although there were 2 next to winners, I'm not sure it was the greatest field in the world, but I think he fits here.
No, I agree with that. I don't have any argument with that. I don't know how short a price I'd be willing to take on him. And I don't see any reason why he wouldn't stretch out effectively. He's got the pedigree for it, and it's Pletcher. I'm kind of with you. I know there were a couple horses that came back out of his debut to run well. I don't know. I didn't love that field. I think he did some good things in there, but I wasn't blown away with it. I suppose he could win. I just didn't really want him as, one of the favorites in here.
Cassie has the 2 differential, who tried a synthetic surface last time out, going 5.5 furlongs and never really ran. The runner-up came back to win the Simcoe on the Tapeta with a 70 Beyer speed figure. The turf form from the second lifetime start was good, but he's slow on paper.
Yeah, I guess he has to really improve. Maybe he'll really appreciate getting some more distance underneath him. I don't know. I like the improvement he showed in his second start. If nothing else, he showed a lot more pace in that race. I mean, his first start, he got off to that was just a terrible break in there, but he showed no speed at all. He was way out of it, and then running at the end, he was better second time. I think he has to even do better than that this time.
3-time maiden, Follow My Lead, 20-1 on the morning line, might be the longest shot on the board.
Yeah.
Took on next out Colin winner, like what I see last time out, but just really has to improve.
He has to really improve. I like the way that he sort of was finishing at the end of both of his turf races. I don't know if it's going to be good enough in here.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 2 Summer Stakes. I want you to tell us about the number 4, Admiralty Pier. Barb Minchell does a very good job, especially with these young horses. I Spent It, I think, was the 2-year-old filly that she shipped down to Saratoga
yeah.
and just blew away a field early
horse.
in the meet in the Schuylerville. This horse, you look at this pedigree, you would think maybe 6.5's a bit short. This horse look good.
Yeah, we'll see about stretching out with this horse, because you're right, on paper, the pedigree says, yeah, distance is fine. The dam was more of a sprinter. She's a half to a couple of stakes winners. One of those was a sprinter as well. We'll see if she stretches out. I liked her debut, or his debut. What I liked most about it is just that he had really easy speed in that race. I mean, they weren't asking him to go to the front, but he just went because he was fast. He had a challenger right up there with him. He put that horse away. As soon as he did that, 2 more challengers moved up on his outside and challenged him. He put both of those horses away, and he was gone in the stretch. He was just sort of lugging in all the way down to the finish. Contreras couldn't even ride him. He was just trying to keep him straight, but he blew that field out, and I just sort of liked that maybe he was a little inefficient in that race. Maybe he gets more efficient with that race behind him, and if he does, he can take the step forward I think that he needs to take to beat this field, and I wanted to try him at a price.
I like the heart El Dulce showed in his debut. He broke very well. Of the 3 main pace protagonists in this race, I think he will emerge from the scrum, turning into the stretch with the lead, and then we'll see if he can hold off closers like Untamed Domain. Admiralty Pier, I think, will come from stalking range this time around, etc. I'll go 5, 1, 6, and 8 in the Grade 2 Summer Stakes. Race number 6 at Woodbine on Sunday has an approximate post time of 3:50 Eastern. Good luck.